Out here, at this moment in time, there is a 60 bear face cowboy!
New PV mirror for me, £35 from the Manor, mate.
This is what we come for, boys. This is what we come for. Proud moments like this.
The lady of the Manor herself.
Fingers crossed, the Lord of the Manor comes out.
This is just getting started, and what's in it? Look at that. It's so cool. Mate,
What
that
a
is why
banger.
we're here, isn't it?
Mental fish.
That
60
is
plus
why
pound.
we are here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ben here from Parker Baits and welcome back to another fishing video. Now, I'm not so carpy clothes today, but the boys around me are. And we're at the Manor Carp Fisheries. Now, this is something really special we've all been waiting for a long time. And there's a fish in excess of £60, arguably the nicest looking. The biggest. No words. It sort of goes without saying. So,
You're a little bit excited.
So the boys are here for the next 3 nights and they're going to try and make it happen, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring you on our journey, on this exciting journey that we're going to have, and hopefully see that big one. So we're going to cut straight to it. We're going to go to the draw. What we've done is we wanted to sort of spice it up a little bit and have a watercraft draw. So that we're doing. We've got pools in here, 1 to 5. We're going to pull their numbers out and then see where people are. Here we go, the magic moment. A little bit excited. I'm excited for the boys.
I didn't even sleep last night. I was like Christmas, right? I thought Santa was coming. Now I'm dipping in Santa's sack now. Oh, where's the balls?
This side. Fill the balls down there, mate. We have got
third
number
pick.
third
draw, I'll take that.
Theo.
Second pick.
Second pick, Lou.
Fair play. Fourth. Fair play.
T. This side, my
First
boys
or
up.
last you are.
Never! Always second to last or last. On that note, what we'll do is I'll touch base with you later on. It'll either be myself or Ian, and obviously we'll go around the pegs, where people have picked, what they're doing, going into a little bit of a depth about their rigs, their bait application, so on. So I'm not even fishing, but I'm buzzing. Yeah, exciting times. I'll see you in a bit.
Which one you going in then, mate?
Right, mate, I'm going to go on the hut on the other side, I think.
Hut on the other side. Right over the back, over there, sort of middle body of water. So who's next?
I'm next, and I. T, where have you picked? You picked.
So T's picked the hut.
Oh, the one with the boat. I quite like the one next doors to you, to be honest.
What, the one to the left?
To the left.
I'm here. I'm here.
The gate.
The gate, baby. Right, Lou, what you doing then, mate?
Right, I'm going down in the double, back in the back far corner there.
And
Lovely.
he's going to fish down, be a bit clever, but again I'm sure Ian will go round and touch base with Lou.
Yeah.
On the mission. Last one then, mate.
Yeah,
last but
last
not
one.
least, good to see you again.
And yourself.
Where you going?
Managed to come out 5th in the draw. Managed to get my first pick. Bonus, because Ian was going to pick it but has changed his mind. So I'm going to go in the peg called the Hut.
Good luck, mate.
Further down.
And
Thank you very
hopefully you
much.
can make it happen.
Fingers
Come
crossed.
on. On the money, boy. Where are you? You're Aqua.
Wow, you join us over in Big Mac Swim. Finally all set up, the rods are tucked down. Over here, out the way. 2 cups. Kettle on. Coffee for me and Ian over there now. Everyone just around the lake, finalising, getting set up. Found myself a nice spot just towards the V in the tree at 10.5 wraps, just behind the weed bed. Just give them a few tins of sweet corn and some fruit and nut. Give it 24 hours and we'll see where it goes from there. But time to enjoy the coffees and we'll keep us updated. Come on the cat!
This place is incredible. Incredible! I ain't got a Scooby-Doo what I'm doing, but we're here.
Right, I didn't do much filming before of me getting the rods out, finding spots, because it was absolutely hammering down, but we seem to have a little break in the weather now. I did find 3 spots, 2 of them was a little bit iffy, but I've got one at 10.5 wraps straight out in front of me. One 3 or 4 lengths to the right at 13.5, and then one just down the right hand side margin, not too tight to the margin, and probably a couple of rod lengths off at the bottom of the shelf at 8 wraps. I've not gone mental, because the further obviously you go out, the more wee beds you got to come back over. I put 4 or 5 spoms over each rod, got back in the bivvy, got changed, and now yeah, we're sat waiting about an hour or so now. Just gonna have some grub, and hopefully we can get a few nosses on the bank. Come on the £60 fillet, bosh.
Incredible, mate. Right, well, it's early morning. The rain has finally stopped. First up, you have the hut, which is Connor's little abode. Oh, wait. You find myself and Connor on our social bank on the first hand side of the manor.
A special place.
Mate, it's incredible, isn't it?
Really is a beautiful
Never seen
place.
anything like it.
It's a really special place that's like to be kept undercover. So there's not
Really
much
is.
information online.
The weather,
Was not on our side.
a little bit on the wet side. Yeah, it's been incredible. We had a walk round, we had another walk round. I think we had another walk round after that.
Yeah.
We done the draw. Ben was here yesterday, helped us out, do the draw. Pick swims. There is, what was that? Is there 10 swims?
No, there's 8 swims, I think the bloke said. Just 8 fishable swims.
8 fishable swims. There's 5 of us on. But I don't think there is a bad swim,
no.
which is why there is 8 swims in there out
We
of
all
5
agreed that
acre lake.
yesterday, yeah, there's not a bad swim
Really,
on the
like,
lake.
there isn't a bad swim. And we have pretty much got the lake covered.
There's definitely fish out there as well. There's been the odd fish showing over us.
It's just the excitement.
Confidence there.
Mate, there is a 60 bear face cowboy!
Nothing happened last night. There were boshing out in front of me, to the left, to the right, straight in front. Hooked a little bag on the hook with a little bit of foam out there and just casted 2 bags out there. One at 10.5 and one at 13.5. And then a few hours later, about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was awoken by boshing. But they were crashing out like mental. It sounded like that big girl was out there last night. It sounded like someone dropped a bomb in the lake.
Some might say luxuries. Theo and T doubled up. The Barbie's out. Breakfast is getting ready. Look at it. Just naughty. This place is incredible. He's got huts. He's got dugouts. He's got cabins. It's the head chef in action. Breakfast. Preparation.
Non-stop cooking for me every day.
If he ain't feeding the fish, he's feeding the boys.
Yes.
It's a vicious circle, but we love it.
Just getting the old coals going, ready for the barbecue so we can have some fancy Cumberland sausage rolls for breakfast.
Preheating the coals, just the way we love it.
Oh, yes.
One for you, Toby. Not a Barbies. You join me out of the rain, out of the slums, and in what I would say a little bit of paradise this morning. Look at this. They are in, what's this peg called? Good start. Grassy Knoll.
Come and check it out.
Woo!
Welcome to my cribs, yo.
Theo's cribs.
You know. Get this for luxury, boy.
Good night's sleep, was it, mate? Nice and dry.
Very nice last night in here.
The Wall of Fame.
And that is the one we've all come for. Look at that fish. As many of you know, one of the most sought after carp in the whole country.
Mate,
What
that
a
is why
banger.
we're here, isn't it?
Mental fish. 60
That
plus
is why
pound.
we are here. You come out, they've got PVC double glazing. They've got their own little gravel patio area. We got the marquee up because obviously Theo, the head chef, obviously he's brought the barbecue. Tea's there, ready to go. I didn't know what to expect when we were coming here yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit overwhelmed. It's so looked after, it's a beautiful place. The Lord, £60 fully scaled, biggest fully scaled in the UK, is in that little pond behind me. Let's hope we get it. Come on!
$36 minus the 4.
39.
Ooh, it's put a few pound on. 39 minus 4 makes what?
35.
Get in there!
Buzzing. Buzzing. Look at that.
Right then, so what you got there, Theo?
A new PV mirror for me, £35. From the MANOR, mate. Look at that.
Absolutely incredible.
Caught on an OG fish bottom bait. Well done, that man. Oh.
And there it is, sports fans. The head chef himself, Theo. Proud of you, brother.
What a banger.
What
So
a moment.
Fair play, good one.
Come on.
Fair play. And a crack.
Well done, mate. Well in. Smashed it. Good boy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
Now it's time for a big old barbecue, boy. Celebrate.
What you got going on there, Theo?
We've got 2 different types of burgers. Don't ask me what they are because I can't remember. And we've got a load of tasty chicken as well. So yeah, it's going to be a nice old feast tonight.
Naughtiness.
All from the butchers. Look at that. Loving life.
It's hard life, isn't it, mate?
It is, mate.
It's a hard life. You join me back in the bivvy. It's getting late. Second night now in, so it's Saturday night. Congratulations on Theo on his new PB. Absolute banger of a fish. Absolute banger of a fish. Buzzing for him. The whole team was buzzing for him. Just happened to happen just before dinner time. We were all pulling in to go round actually to. Theo was actually meant to be cooking dinner at the time. Instead, we get round there. Barbecue's not quite ready yet because Theo's been playing a fish. Get round there. Bang. What an absolute whopper. Whopper it was. Buzzing for Theo. Absolutely smashed it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, somebody else has something in the night. And could it be that naughty 60? Come on the Barker baits. I was just waking up, having my morning coffee, starting to get my rod set, when all I heard was his thunder and rip. T-Bone's into one, isn't he? Of course he was. So, coffee down, rods down, on my way around now to go and see what T's got in the net, baby. Come on. Look at this. Who wouldn't want to wake up to this every morning?
Happy days, mate. So this one gonna come on a solid bag, bit of mini mix, bit of yellow magic bean. Absolutely buzzing, man. Proper buzzing to get off the mark with this one. How dark it is as well. Proper little peach, mate. Proper happy.
Look at them scales, them apple slices at the back. Look at that, boy.
Theo's happy. He's had his breakfast. He had his monster last night. Just look at the quality of the fish in here. The standard. This is what we come for, boys. This is what we come for. Proud moments like this. Yes, boys. Come on. Well done, brother.
Cheers, man.
So happy for you.
Cheers, man.
So T,
Go on, mate.
how's it going? You got first in the draw?
Yeah, happy days, mate. Well chuffed with that. Well chuffed.
And how's your session been?
Yeah, mate. It's been alright so far. It's been a bit slow, but it's tricky. But we've had a couple out, which is banging, mate. Obviously, you had that, mate. Well, that was a banger, mate. At 35, absolute belter, mate. Proper happy for you.
Nah, cheers, mate. So go on, tell us about your fish and how you caught it.
So I think that 24, that was on a solid bag. That was on a solid bag on its spot. Probably only 10, 20 baits over the past spot. That was probably 20 hours or so. So the other one's baiting spot's not really been doing it, but so we've got one night left now, and fingers crossed to keep us on going as I am. It seemed to have worked the first time, so here we go. Hopefully get a few more, mate, and you know.
Happy days.
Right, well, you join me over at the Airbnb with Theo, the chef himself. Just about to sit down and have dinner, mate. What you got there tonight?
We've got bits of steak, we've got lamb kofta, we've got some banging quarter-pounder burgers with a bit of ketchup in there. Love them, we do.
So, obviously, where did you come in the draw?
I came second in the
Second
draw,
pick.
so it doesn't normally happen for me to get that far up in the draw, so I was pretty excited. I know there's only 5 of us drawing, so, you know, the odds weren't massively against picking something like the first or second place. Obviously, T got first to pick, so fair play to him. He picked a good swim. It's a very nice swim here with the Airbnb, and we've had the gazebo up, we've been barbecuing, it's been really nice. I'm in the next swim up from T as I drew second, and I sort of wanted to be on this side of the lake. Not for any particular reason other than I just feel like the further back you are away from the car park, the more chances they've been less fished. I don't know whether that's the case here, but that was just my logic on it. So I ended up in the swim next doors, and it was very weedy here. There's a lot of weed, and it's not just one type. There is multiple different types. There's snails everywhere in here. This lake is so rich with naturals.
There's a lot of naturals in there.
These fish are going to get big, and they are going to get big fast. Now, when you're eating nothing but snails and bugs and little bits and bobs, things like that, 48%, 50% protein, these fish, no wonder they're getting big, and they look amazing. This gin clear water, they're so dark, and the one that T had, mega dark fish as well. The one I had, you know, one of the A-team, it is sea scale, it's called. 35 pound and a few ounces, absolute cracking fish, and that was dark as you like as well. But chuffed to have had that, and I actually had that on an 18mm hardened hooker, OG fish, topped, just a bit trimmed down and topped with an OG fish match hatch wafter, trimmed down again, so it literally just sits it upright. And yeah, found a little spot, raked a little bit of weed out with my lead. The spot wasn't quite perfectly clean, as you could say, but it was clean enough to present a bait on. And my tactic for this session was very much try and do something different, and I was watching what all the other lads were doing. Everyone else had a similar approach. They sort of went in with the bait and found some spots, and I sort of did something different. Rather than find some spots, I sort of made some little spots as such.
It was hard, wasn't it? Because
it was hard.
One point you're on a spot, the wind changes, the flow changes, and that spot's disappeared and gone.
As the weed's blown over. So there's a lot of like free roaming weed on the bottom that does float about, and where it's a spring fed lake, it comes up from the bottom. So you get an undertow, so you know, you're fishing and then you come to it in the morning and you think, oh, that wasn't quite as clean as when I was there this morning. But I was quite happy fishing on a little bit of a choddy sort of area, but I fished with a bottom bait. I was quite confident it went down with a FUD. I just catapulted about 20 boilies, 30 boilies over the top, OG fish 18mm freezers. And yeah, after 20 odd hours, it done the do, and I had a new PB, so that's all happy days. Buzzing for
that.
Buzzing, yeah. It was a banger right before dinner time yesterday, 4 o'clock. Barbecue had just gone on, so couldn't have asked for a better time to sit down and have food and have a good chat about the fish. And yeah, like we say, we've got one night left. We're here till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So unfortunate that Ian's got to get off in the morning and go and get those orders printed off for all you lovely people. But hopefully one more night, let's see if we can make it happen and bag another one of those special ones. But I'm going to get on with my dinner before it gets cold and leave you at that.
Buzzing, mate.
Yeah, mate, you know. Here we have it. It must be 11:30 at night. It's my second cart from the Manor, and it is a banger. The lady of the Manor herself at a new top weight of 39 pounds. Look at that. What a monumental fish that is. It's so heavy I've got to put a leg up just to help support it. It is ridiculous. But yeah, happy days. Look at that chunk. Look at that content. And there's one nearly double that size. Well, it's the final morning. 3 nights completed. We're just all getting packed up, getting up slowly. It's about 7 o'clock now. And the lake, as you'll see, is looking banging. Look at that. We've had a couple of days of rain, but the rain's all cleared up now and started to go. Look at this place. It is absolutely mega, especially from up on this top bank. It really is something truly special, this place. And we've got another one in the sling. What a banger, Connor. Come on, first fish of the trip for you.
Yeah, on the final morning, if you have a look around us, everything's packed away.
Everything's all hanging about, innit?
And moved for the final night into a swim that's called the car park. And it's finally eventually happened. I just want to say a thank you to Ben and Tom and Louis for giving me the chance to be on this mega lake. And fingers crossed I'll be back to have the big one, the Lord of the Manor.
Happy blooming days, boy. What a banger, bruv. Come on, how big was it?
24 pounds.
Lovely, we'll get her back.
Now.
Well, what time we've had down here. Absolute incredible place. JC Fisheries, the Manor. And I tell you what, it lives up to all expectations. The place is incredible. I've had a time of my life. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen for me, but it not always does, you know what I mean. There's some absolute bangers coming to this video. Theo, absolute buzzing for you, mate. 2 PBs, 2 incredible fish, and 2 of the 18. T nicked one as well, and so did Connor. But you can see, place literally blow my mind away. Wasn't sure what to expect. Like I said, there's not much on the place, but it has been absolutely incredible. This will not be the last time you see me down here, I can guarantee you that, and I will be back with a vengeance. But that's it for me down here. We've had an incredible time, really have. The owner's been out and out, absolute brilliant. A few of his management team have been down as well. Again, amazing guys. Here to make sure you're having, like I say, the time of your life. Make sure everything's all good. And like I say, just genuine down-to-earth blokes. I can't thank them enough for having us. But that is me signing out now. Go home. Woo! Get myself a shower and get into work to get them orders out. I'll see you all soon.
This is how we do it. Round the lake. Taken by the owner, my own personal chauffeur on a famous Parker Baits white bucket. Oh yes, look at this place, it is stunning. The work that's gone into this place to keep this place looking the way it does and making it look this way. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Look at this swings. Right, so it's about 9:30 now. We've got 20 odd minutes till we've got to get off the social. It's been an amazing trip. We've had 4 fish out. The 3 of us managed to bang some bangers each. And what can I say? The other lads have already started to make moves and pack their cars. But we've got this man here to thank. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have happened. So thank you very much, mate. And
It's been a pleasure having you chaps.
can't wait to be back. So yeah, we'll end it there, and we're going to get our gear in the vans, and we're going to all get back to work. Come on the Parker Baits.
The Manor Farm Fisheries, and this particular lake has got a £60 fully scaled in. Now, I think Daryl Peck, if I'm honest with you, has broke the internet the last couple of weeks. It did come out about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. From our perspective, not great, but from his perspective, fair play, you know, massive respect, and what a fish it is. I've got Andy here from Swimbooker. I've got a good friend of mine, Richard, from Derek's Angling. Toby's here as well, which you would have seen at Parker Baits HQ, and also Dave, which works alongside One More Cast. So I've got a bit of everything around the lake, Dave. Very good friends of mine, but it'll be nice because there's also some good angling ability here as well. You know, there's people that have fished all over the world here, and some bloody good anglers at that. So like I said, I'm going to bring on my journey, give you a little bit of a taste in your mouth what this particular venue has to offer, because it is something special. Although the lake's not massive, it's home to some real jewels. It truly, truly is. So without further ado, in a second we're going to do the draw, and I'm going to bring you on that as well. But before we start this video, guys, give us a thumbs up, make sure you comment down below, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos going forward, and hopefully myself and the team can bring you an absolute banger.
Right, ready? Breathe in.
Right, wow. You can tell Tome's here.
Does my bum look big?
Right, well there it is. We're on to the draw now. Always a little bit sort of edgy, this bit, if I'm honest with you, but just over to the left of me now. And what he's going to do is he's going to put a ball in every one of our hands. We're not going to look at it, and obviously at the end we'll reveal there's numbers in them balls. We're obviously going to do a watercraft draw, so there's 1 to 5. Obviously one will pick first, and they go in the peg they want, and obviously 5 last, obviously. So without further ado, here we go. The itchy moment.
Here you go, Ben. No peeking. It's going to make or ruin your trip.
Remember,
I know where you live.
Well, the make or break moment then, here we go. So, where are we fishing?
Three.
You're Ben.
Four.
Can we just take a second here? Look at that.
Fix that cunt.
Again. Yes!
My watercraft's not very good, so number 5's perfect.
So 5 for
me.
Tobe, Andy's got 4,
Three.
Richard's got 3, and Dave's got 2, number 2. So yeah, I can't really grumble with that. What I will do is, obviously throughout this video I'm going to touch base, we're going to go around, obviously pick the brains of the anglers around, see how they're approaching this particular venue, and like I said, bring you on our journey, which is very exciting. So I'm going to leave it at that. What I will do is I'll touch base when we have picked the pegs, because that's the boring bit. Yeah, peg 1 baby. Happy bloody days. Right, wow, you joined me in my peg, and to be honest with you, it's just gone 4 o'clock, and it isn't looking like I'm going to get the rods out before dark. I want to take my time with them, so I'll happily do them at night time. Also, I do feel the fish are probably going to show over the next couple of hours as well, and hopefully give himself away. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to touch on the pegs and where people are. I'm going to let this night roll. Obviously if I catch a fish I'll keep it in the loop, but like I said, I've got stuff coming out of carp fishing stuff, coming out of fishing stuff behind me, and it's just carnage behind my swim. So I'm here for a few days, put the camera away this evening, and we can touch base tomorrow morning. But next to me I've got Andy. I don't know the name of the peg, but what I'll do is I'll put that up on the screen now from above so you can see it with your own eyes. Opposite me I have got Toby, just down from that is Dave, and double over to my right is Richard. So that is where people are, and we've basically got every sort of bit of the lake covered, if you like, although to my right there is a little bit of water sort of sat down there. But I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on that, and the other reason why I went in this peg is because I can walk down there tonight and just watch and just see what's going on. So it's going to be a long night, I'm sure, but I'm going to touch base with you later on, probably later on in the morning if I'm honest with you, and get this first night out the way and sort of see what's going on, digest what's going on. Like I say, it's quite a big thing to be up here, a bit of a privilege really. It's just a beautiful lake with some crazy stock in it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth in the next couple of days and showing you guys along the way as well. So for now, peace out, and I'll see you in a bit. Wow, good morning all, and I would say it's been an uneventful night, but I'd be lying if I said that, because although there's been no fish on the bank, just after dark, probably an hour and a half into the darkness, so it got dark around 5ish, about 6:30, 7, it just turned on like that, and there was fish showing. Now I was very reluctant to put rods out to begin with, because I did not want to smash it to live in death. Not that anybody did on the lake. Obviously there was a few people that were sort of leading around, clearing spots, little rakes and what have you. Being that the only place on the walk round I saw fish was in this peg, so I think it would have been crude or wrong of me to start putting a lead out and smashing it out there, because I did not want to do that. So I thought I'd rather fish bags and then fill for a drop and fish like that, even if I got to cast 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I'd rather do that and then sort of smash it with a lead again and again and again and again and again and again on the same spot. I just don't think that's going to benefit me whatsoever. So that I done. Didn't get no rods out, got my rods out about 10 o'clock and just sat down there. I went down there just further up, the one peg up from me. Bear in mind this was okayed with Justin, who's obviously happy with that, as long as your rods are all pinned down, which they were. And I just sat behind my rods. I thought, this is it, it's going to happen, saying it's going to happen. And they were showing probably 10 wraps out. So I fished one with the Parker baiter, dropped it with the Parker baiter, and fished one on the margin, and also fished one, like I said, a Roman bag, cast it 3 or 4 times, and I was getting a semi-good drop, knowing that I was fishing, being that a bag is going to sit there and then the little magic bean's going to pop out. Went in with magic beans as well, and that sort of brings you to where I'm at now. Woke up this morning, had a good chat with Andy. Obviously Andy's next to me, and we had coffee. Hour into the conversation, as you do, you sat there, we're having a chat with me and Andy, and I'm like watching the water, looking up, watching the water, having a chat, watching the water. Ran up the bank quickly, and there it was, 2 wraps out in front of me. That's a great big show, and I mean 2 wraps out from, again, the car park. Jesus Christ, it's like This was what, an hour ago, something like that now. It's just coming up to 12 o'clock now. At the moment I haven't got no rods in the water whatsoever, because my plan of action is, which sort of brings me into the sort of why I've introed this clip now, and obviously I didn't do much last night. I'm going to rest it for an hour and a bit. I'm going to put some bait out probably in an hour and a bit, and then 2:30 rods are going out and they leave them, because apparently a lot of the bites have been coming. And I know Daryl, when he was up here, Theo, when he was fishing it, they were all coming around that 4 o'clock area, that sort of time. So just going into the darkness, them fish were feeding. So hopefully I can repeat that again today, or the fish can repeat that again today. But by that point, I'll have rods live. I'm happy with them. I should probably touch base with what I've done with my left-hand rod. Like I said to you yesterday, I didn't want to smash it about, but I thought, you know what, about 11 o'clock, I thought now's my chance. Nothing's really happening. The shows that I'm seeing are over to my right. I've got no rods in the water. I'm going to just have a lead around. Now there's ivy in a tree, a big ball of it, opposite me, and it's such an obvious marker sort of in the tree. And also I know I can fish to that at night time as well, which is a massive benefit. So I sat there, probably had about 30-40 casts on this spot, bare lead, and just pulled it back through. And every other cast it was getting smoother and smoother and smoother. It's 15 wraps 1 foot it is, and like I said, it's up against this ball. And now it's lovely out there. So again, plan of action, I'm going to whip round in a minute, go to the toilet, say hello to everyone, see away. Again, I'm not going to record people day by day. We've obviously got a couple of days here, so I think tomorrow I'll probably go around and pick people's brains, go over a bits and bobs, and hopefully by that point there's a fish on the bank. So, yeah, wonder where I'm going with this now. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. So I'm about 2:30, getting them rods back out. I'm going to put one on that clear spot out in front of me, and I'm going to put a PVA bag on that, and I'm probably going to put 5 spoms over the top, just a little bit of our chops, our Parker bait chops, OG fish, and some fruit and nut. I've got some 10mm fruit and nut, lovely. 5 spoms over the top of that bag and just leave it, and I'm quietly confident now. What I'm trying to put, so when I say I'm confident, you've got that mind reassurance. When I'm sat there in the little hut, bearing in mind this peg's called the hut, I can sit there thinking, you know what, I'm fishing. There was a couple of occasions, 2 of the casts last night, I'm like, oh, the drop wasn't quite right, and you sort of sat behind your rods thinking, do I redo them, and then the fish will show you like, nah, don't redo them, sit on your hands. It was a bit like that, but I know this rod, the only place that I've pulled the lead through is definitely clear. As long as I hit that clip right, I know I'm fishing the money. Put 5 spoms directly over the top of it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go crazy with bait. And like I said, the other thing I would say of that is when you're fishing a spot very, very tight. I mean, until you go 1 foot to the left, 1 foot to the right, you're in sort of like cabbagey weed, Canadian. There's not as much Canadian, it's more like this cabbagey weed, which obviously sits up and sits there and sort of sits a little bit higher than the Canadian, if you like. But I think the Canadian that I'm pulling in is sat on the deck, from what I can feel anyway. But like I said, it's clear, I'm confident, I'm happy. Rod's going out on that this afternoon. Again, Magic Beans and all rod, I'm confident with them. Although I have been told on air, high vises shouldn't be your go-to because the bird life can be a problem sometimes. But I haven't had any issues yet. Until I do have an issue, then keep on doing what I'm doing, going with what I know. They're not alien fish. They know I'm quietly confident if a fish pulls over the spot, or the fish pulls over the spot, it's one suck, game over, mate. And them hooks are sharp as sharp. That's one thing I have made. Hence why it took me about 5 hours to get the rods out. Sharpening them all, my hooks, everything. I wanted it to be bang on. So if I did get a run, I know I was 110%. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's the update for now. I'll probably touch base when I get the rods out when I get back. But for now, I'm just going to, like I said, have a little bit of a walk around, digest what's going on. Also going to get my Polaroids from the van in a second. And there's a little cubby hole bit, so when you go through the other gate, you can look down, you can see in, but with my Polaroids on, that's going to make that even more easy. I can sit there and obviously digest what's going on in the bottoms. When I eventually do put a lead on it this afternoon, I know exactly what I'm fishing on. I might even walk around with a bare lead, so you can't fish from them spots, but just flick it out on the arm just to see whether I'm getting a drop, which is sort of going around in my head. So yeah, probably going to do that in the next hour as well. So that's the update of all updates. And yeah, smiling from ear to ear, because it's just to be nice to be here at this beautiful venue. But not only that, it's very mild as well. I'm sat here in a jumper, I'm not cold at all. It's very warm till Thursday, and I think they said first time in 5 years it's been this warm going into November, which is crazy. Normally this time beanies on, you got about 20 coats on, hoods up. But no, it's been far from that since we've been here. It's just been lovely, and hopefully that makes the fish drop down and have a feed. So, see you in a bit. Look at all them snails around them baits, 2 single baits.
Madness.
Well, I should probably apologise, and the reason for that is up until this point there hasn't been much of a video, and the reason for that is I've just, if I'm honest with you, fell in love with the place a little bit. I mean, yesterday the day just slipped away from me and just sort of sat there watching the water, seeing what the fish were doing, playing about with different bits and bobs, walking up and down the bank, you know, and then obviously the moment happened and oh my god, yeah, see the thing over the swim, I'm like, oh my god alive, this is crazy. And then everything went out the window from that point, and that went into last night. Fish were crashing in front, chasing them around a little bit, moving rods, sort of sporadically changing my bags and changing them and putting them on, showing fish. Rich lost one last night, which is the first bit of action, and bearing in mind prior to us getting here, 6 days people were on for and nothing come out. We've obviously turned on, and then Rich is obviously done that's 2 nights ago. So we've done the first night, the second night, nothing. Rich obviously lost one last night, so it's quite nice, that mind reassurance that, you know, something is happening. But yeah, just what a crazy place. I think you just go into your own little zone. I don't know if you're anything like me and people watching this that are really into their carp angling. When you've got something really special in front of you, I mean, everything else just gone out the window. I'm just thinking about that one thing at the moment, and I can't get it out of my head. And even when I'm not looking out in the water and I finally turn around and go, oh, you know, I'm just going to sit back in the hut, which obviously the swim I'm in, I pull my phone out and I start looking at pictures of it because it just fascinates me. I'm like, this thing is just unbelievable. It's just a different breed of carp. Like, there's nothing else that I want more. If I'm honest, it's just unbelievable. So that sort of brings you up to where we are now. This isn't going to be a 2-part video, but what we are going to do is bring plenty of action over the duration of the next few days. If I haven't told you already, obviously at the moment we've got the so Andy, Rich, Toby, and Dave on, and myself. So tomorrow's Friday, we do a switch over, so them lads are going, Toby's staying on, but then you got Ian, Rob, Theo's coming down as well, so some of the boys that you would have seen on the channel before, so I'm going to bring you on that journey as well. We're going to do a redraw. I've got to pack up in the morning and obviously go back. That's a part of the game, if I'm honest. I'm sort of a little bit gutted where I know they're down this end, and I think everybody else knows it at this point now. So you know what pegs are obviously going to go first going into tomorrow for sure. But if I could grab and jump in the same peg, I probably would. Or if I could be at Rich's peg, I'd probably take that peg as well. That would be that's me, God's honest truth and the ultimate scenario, if I'm honest with you. But we'll see tomorrow. Am I going to be lucky again in the draw? But what I am going to do today is I'm going to touch base with Andy. I'm also going to touch base with Dave today. Dave is going to be interesting, so I'm going to go over maybe a bit of rigs, how he's been approaching it. It'd be good to have a catch up with Andy. If you haven't seen him before, this is Mr. Swimbooker, so we can go over a bit about Swimbooker and what that has to offer, which is quite interesting. But yeah, that's the plan of action. What I am also going to do in this video, maybe you're coming down, maybe you're watching this video and think I'm going there next year. I've managed to get booked on and come down. I am also going to speak to the owner on this particular trip. I don't think anybody's done before. I'd be like to pick the brains, a little bit of history, how the lakes evolved, how particularly the Lord of the Manors evolved over the duration of the last 15 years. You know, a little bit of background on the lake. So when you are turning up, you're not turning up grey, and you've heard it from the horse's mouth. You know, there's no better knowledge than someone who's been here day in, day out for numerous years. So that's going to be interesting to speak to Justin and go over them bits. That will either be today or throughout the duration of this video, so stay tuned for that. I'm even looking forward to having a bit of a just dropping some questions, putting them on the spot and sort of seeing what's said. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, and definitely interesting for the viewer. So again, there it is. There's the update of all updates. Apologies for, like I said, it hasn't been action packed full of fish, but I have been in my bloody element, mate, and I can't deny that. So everything's been like, come on Ben, think about what you're doing, you need to catch a fish. So that's what I'm trying to do. So coffee time in a second. I think it's around 10ish, something like that at the moment, maybe 10:30. I'm just sat there now. Rich is right up on his rods in, Andy's up there, and Justin's there, and we're all having a chin wag as you do, and having carpy stories. So that's what we're doing at the moment, and I'll see you in a bit. A little bit of a change of scenery, and you join me now in Dave's peg. Now this particular peg is called Louis' peg, is it? Louis' peg 5, and I thought it'd be quite interesting. I don't think you've seen Dave on the channel before, but this is a face you're going to be seeing a lot more of going into the foreseeable future. But I think it'd be quite interesting to pick your brains a little bit, Dave, and sort of go over why you've gone in with what you've done, the reason why you pick your peg, sort of, etc., etc. Because you've got a couple of rigs with me, I think you're going to sort of touch on and elaborate on. But yeah, I'll put it over to you, mate.
Okay, so I was fortunate enough to come second in the draw. Somebody took my first preference. So the logic, I know very little about this lake, and there's not a great deal on the interweb. I agree. So two things that did it for me. One, this swim is kind of in the centre of the lake, so I've got reasonable views of up and down the lake. Secondly, I'm away from all the cold winds, so they're going to come from that way. The lake is that way, so any nasty north or easterly winds, I'm going to sit behind them, and I like to think the fish are going to do the same as well. So it was a starter for 10, middle of the lake, away from the cold winds, especially at this time of year. It's unseasonably mild at this time of year.
I agree. So ridiculously mild,
as we've seen from the weed growth in the lake. So that was my swim choice. In terms of rig choices, there's really one rig that I absolutely recommend at this time of year, and I'll show you this one now, and that is the hinge diff rig. Although I do some slightly different stuff with it at this time of the year. So historically, what the hinge diff you would have a stiff boom section of around 7 inches, and then effectively your chod section at the top there. I replaced the stiff section with a heavyweight coated braid. This is the One More Cast blend coated braid in 35. So I've got stiffness, I've got a 30mm anti-tangle sleeve there, I've got a little bit of putty around the middle, I've got the usual putty around the ring swivel at the bottom, and then I have one of the One More Cast chods away. Now these come in 3 different sizes of hook and 2 different lengths. I don't want to be tying tiny little knots and all the rest of it, so straight out of the packet, tied onto some blend, a little yellow pop-up on the top. And the reason I'm using this soft supple section is because the Canadian is dying down. It's not uniform, so as the Canadian dies down, you'll bring some brown stuff out, you'll bring some green stuff out. So I want the contours of the blend to go over that. If I put a stiff boom on there and it lands on something a bit prominent, all the rig's all going to sit wrong, and it's just not going to be attractive to the fish. So that's why I go with a slightly more supple.
And that's interesting.
So this is a rig that I would always use at this time of the year as opposed to the chod rig. So this one is fishing over low-lying, dying off a Canadian and a little bit of silkweed that seems to think it's spring already. The second rig I use, this is just a standard spinner rig. Now the reason I'm using this, but I'm using it without a pop-up, so I've got an OG fish wafter, bottom bait on the bottom there, with a little slice of magic bean on the top. So I want this to act as a bottom bait, but just have a little bit of buoyancy just to try and make it act a little bit normal and take some of the weight off of that.
It's a great rig to use in any scenario as well. I mean, you can change the bottom bait and play about with that, mate. I love that. It's something I use in my own angling.
Yeah, so this rig is so versatile. You can use it with the hook lying flat on the deck, with the bait on the deck. You can use it with a pop-up with the hook going up. So just because you're using a spinner rig doesn't mean you have to use a pop-up. So this one is fishing over a slight more clear area, so I don't have any weeds. So we've had a little leather around, we found a clear area, and I'm happy to present this in an area. I don't want something sticking up, looking too obvious and wobbling around, so I'm happy to present this in the clearer areas of the lake.
So now we've touched on the rigs, obviously the reason why Dave picked this particular peg, how he's approached it. I think it'd be quite interesting in saying I know for a fact that I've never ever spoke about on the channel before. Now, I don't know about you, anybody watching this right now is really going to agree with me, but I don't take blanks very well. And when you're struggling on the bank, particularly through the colder months, you know, what do you do? And that sort of puts the question on to you, Dave. You know, how do you deal with a blank? You know, what can you do? Is there...
If I can take something away from that experience, some kind of learning experience away from a blank, I've been carp fishing for a very long time. And I've gone away for a week and blank. So yeah, to start with, some of that, and now with social media, everybody look at this, look at this. But there's nothing as nobody speaks about the difficult time, or I really struggled today, I lost my head, I didn't know what to do. You don't get any of that. It's not failure. I always try and take something away. So Ben's brought me to a lake with 0 fish in it. So the chances of going away tomorrow without a fish are fairly high. But but there's more to my fishing than just catching fish. The learning experience, the camaraderie with fellow anglers, being out in areas of the country that you've never seen before. My mind is focused on the fishing, so I don't want you thinking I'm wandering off looking at grass and things like that. But my mind is focused on the fishing. But ultimately, we are trying to trap a wild animal.
I agree.
Let's break it down to its brutal parts.
Yeah.
We're trying to track a wild. Sometimes they're going to win. Sometimes we're going to win. I'm strong, and I know a lot of people are struggling around about this time of year as well. I'm a firm believer that carp are so temperature orientated, especially in the spring. You go for the shallow water, where to find them.
Yeah.
At a certain part of the year, when the water temperature gets to a certain part, they're going to shut down for a couple of weeks. Whilst I don't know whether their metabolism starts to slow down.
Very lethargic.
You need Simon Scott.
Yeah, we do.
But I truly believe that change happens over a few weeks, and it used to be earlier in the year. I do believe that the autumn, the good time of the autumn, is slowly getting later into the year. So I come to a lake in October knowing almost I'm going to have a hard time of it, but never go home disappointed about blanking. Even if you've got people to the left of you catching and to the right of you catching, there's no shame in going home without the fish. If they're not in front of you, you can't catch them.
You're not going to catch them. And a lot of lakes that you fish, not particularly this one, but sometimes you're sown to a swim, aren't you? So if you turn up on a day ticket, you're sandwiched in between, and then you go disheartened, and then you start blaming things. People start going, oh, it's the bait, oh, it must be my angling. But the reality is, if the fish ain't in front of you, which sort of follows me on to this really, is location. I think location, particularly this time of year, is
from now on.
It's imperative. If you're in the wrong spot, you ain't going to catch them. Simple as that. So,
I think when I do tuitions, I say to people, always go in the pond with the rigs that you're most comfortable, the bait that you're don't be changing things when things are tough. Stick with what you know what works, because then you know the rigs are fine, you know the bait's fine. You may not be in the right location, but that comes with watercraft, and if you're able to do it at the location you are. And if you're walking away from a lake after blanking, don't go home and stew on it and shout at the dog or whatever. Start planning your next one. Get back out there again. Do the same thing. Just keep going out there. There's massive fish to be had at this time of year. Big weights are starting to come on. Just got to be out there catching them.
So there it is. I think a bit more of an insight on how to deal with your blanking, because it does happen this time of year. Like Dave's put across very well, I feel there. And what we'll do, mate, is shake your hand for that. So thanks very much, and hopefully I'm coming back this evening, reeling my rods in, coming round, and the Lord of the Manors in the net. That would be the ultimate. But I'm sure we will be back, mate, for more down the line.
You betcha.
Well, you join me back in my peg. Obviously, Andy is up from that, and I've just come from over there. But what I'm going to do is, over the next couple of days, I'm going to get round, getting the pegs, and show you what each peg has got out in front of it with the camera. So when you are turning up again, you can sort of get a bit of a gauge of what the pegs are like and what's going on. But the hut peg, this is what's in front of you. Obviously, I've been had one out towards this, but obviously nothing's happened. The fish currently are in this section. There's no denying that. So tonight I'm going to have 2 rods out down there and one out on the margin just down here. And that'll be the last night then complete. I think we're going to have some chips, fish and chips later, so I'll touch base with you when we got that. But you do feel safe here, that's one thing I will say. Like, it's all fenced in, so you can't get in, you can't get out basically unless you know the code. But even down to so you've got a main fence when you come in, you've got another fence there that you can come through. It's all otter fenced, and it really is beautiful up here, nice and clean as well. There's no sort of pizza boxes in the bloody bushes or chocolate bar wrappers or anything like that. And then obviously you've got that cool little hut, and there it is. Right, well, that's me back, absolutely knackered. It's been a long day, but as you can see, the rod is out, and chips, burger and the hot wings were absolutely unreal, and thoroughly enjoyed this evening with the lads around there. But it's time to get some sleep for another busy day tomorrow, another redraw in what is tomorrow going to bring. Am I going to be in the same peg? I'm going to have to move. We shall see, all in the draw tomorrow. But for now, I'd rather have one doing what we should be doing on the dance floor and on the right spot than 6 rods in the wrong. So, come on. bosh, there it is, and what a way to sort of end this part. The lads are going to be turning up very soon and we're going to do a redraw and then see what happens there. This is just a little bit of a taste in your mouth of what this beautiful, beautiful venue has to offer, fishery has to offer. And I tell you what, this is just getting started and what's in here, if I'm honest with you. Get this one back. That was on a Magic Bean again. Parker Baits, happy blooming days. Yes. So there it is. There's the other side. Very, very distinctive sort of patch there. So when this one grows to be a 40-pounder, I recognise it. So yeah. No, it's not the biggest, but I'm gonna sort of start the next part one happy man.